Hi, my name is Annette Lawler, founder Lion People Global. Welcome to the next episode of M&A Talks, mergers and acquisition talks for the localization industry. Today we're recording live at Gala in Munich, and I'm joined as always with our resident M&A expert, Olga Blasko. Hi Olga, how are you?
Hi Annette, I'm great.
Fantastic. And today we're very lucky to be joined by the VP of Corporate Development for TransPerfect, Michael Sank. How are you, Michael?
I'm well, thank you.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to ask the first question, then I'm going to throw you over to Olga for a discussion here. But I guess TransPerfect is quite unique in that you've grown largely of a company of your size from organic growth. And any acquisitions have been smaller and focused maybe on technology or something strategic. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, well, I'd say, thank you, by the way, it's very, very flattering. We did about $705 million US in revenue last year, which in this industry is a good size, and that's right. Most of that has been built organically through consultative sales. We've had the good fortune of not having to grow the top line through acquisitions. So that's allowed us to focus on adding skill sets or technology that we feel like would complement what we're already doing well, or would enhance what we're already doing. At times we've looked at geography, certain countries maybe where we wanted a bit more of a foothold, and we could accomplish that through acquisition. So I'd say it's more targeted, more maybe strategic is the word, and instead of trying to build up the top line with chunks of revenue, we're able to sort of pick and choose and just think about what would add value.
Okay, fantastic. Olga, do you have another question?
Yes, I do. So one of my first questions is always, to either buyers or sellers, what's your end game? So I guess I would ask you the same question, but in your case, because you are a buyer, what type of acquisitions do you target and why?
Yeah, well, we're most of us at the senior management level at TransPerfect are. I don't know if young is the word, but not old, and we're still, I think, very energetic and enjoying ourselves. And so, our plan is to develop TransPerfect for many years to come. Mm-hmm. So, when we're looking at acquisitions, I guess we're thinking about developing TransPerfect, sort of as I said. We're looking for things that will help us enhance skill sets. Add new technology that will maybe complement the technology or enhance the technology that we already have. So I think maybe compared to some of the other larger companies in the localization industry, we're not a listed company. We're a private company. We don't have an outside investor, and so we don't have sort of this drive towards building, as I said before, building up the top line and then exiting in a few years. That's not the approach for us. The approach is more to look at an acquisition as an investment, and again, it's just all sort of part of building TransPerfect. So as far as end game, we don't really have an end game, and so we're looking for. I think that feeds into the types of companies we're looking for. We're not looking for sort of a handoff of a piece of revenue so much as a founder and her or his team to come join TransPerfect, become a part of TransPerfect, even if we keep the business unit as a separate division, as we often do. Still, we're looking for people and that will want to build together with us for years to come.
Oh, that's great. You've answered several questions that I had in my mind already.
Okay.
Yes, you are unique. I mean, I agree with Annette because your ability to, turn around that organic growth is actually unique in itself. And therefore you don't need acquisitions, so I think you have confirmed that. What do you think about the M&A climate at the moment? Because there is a lot of activity, we know for sure ourselves, there is a lot of activity. I mean, how do you see that playing out in the next few years?
Yeah, well, there is a lot of activity. I think what's what's changed in the last few years is there's a wave now of our industry has attracted outside money. Let's say that. And so before there were a couple or a few major players who were publicly traded companies or who had large professional investors investing. And I think that what's happened in the last few years is there's just more and more of that. There's more attention on the localization space, between Google and now Amazon. Putting their hat in the ring in terms of machine translation and the buzz about AI, which sort of spans across not just our industry, but sort of is a universal sort of exciting thing right now. For all these reasons, there's more outside money, let's say, and valuations on stock markets and in the private equity world right now are very high, and that's so. I think that makes for a lot of activity. I won't comment on the valuations that are being paid right now. But so I think there's a lot of that happening as long as stock markets. I mean, we see the market cap of some of TransPerfect's competitors is very high right now, and so they're making acquisitions with shares and have a lot of. There's a lot they can do, I guess, and they have been very active. So I guess as long as that continues to be the case, then as far as those buyers, they're going to be very active. I mean, it's a very fragmented industry. People talk about when there's an acquisition. You see the word consolidation, and there hasn't really truly been much consolidation. We're the largest player in the industry, and depending on whose figure you use in terms of the total market size, I'm not sure that we even have 2% of the total market, and that's the biggest player. So I mean, that's a very fragmented industry still, and so there's still a lot of room for consolidation. There's a lot of tech companies out there that I think in our industry, maybe you see this differently. I think technology companies in our industry, it's very difficult to be independent for very long.
Yes.
And so, we'll see maybe a lot of those joining up with larger organizations. So yeah, that's what I expect. I guess is more activity.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, and I think that this is all for me today, Annette.
Fantastic. Brilliant. It's a really fascinating subject and a great discussion. Thank you so much for joining us today. You've been watching Mergers and Acquisition Talks, M&A Talks for the localization industry. Please like, share and tweet and join in the conversation that's changing the shape of our industry. I'm Annette Lawler. Thanks for watching.